All right, today we're going to talk about survey vocabulary. This is really all of chapter 10, but I just kind of like to throw it all into one little lesson because most of it's just common sense. All right, so here we go. We got a whole bunch of vocab today. The first one is biased and unbiased. I always think of it as this way. Biased is actually whenever it's unfair. Whenever something is biased, that means it's unfair. Whenever something is biased, that means it's actually fair. So it's kind of backwards. You have fair with unbiased and unfair with biased. All right, so for this example, we have to figure out if it's biased or unbiased. Asking all the athletes, which is more important, the arts, so like band, choir, art class, or sports. Well, if you ask only the athletes, then that's probably going to be biased because, of course, they're going to say sports. So that's an unfair group of people to ask. Okay, whereas this one, if you ask every 10 kids who walk into school, which is more important, the arts or sports, well, that way you're getting more of a wide variety of people. So that would be considered unbiased because you're not just asking the athletes, you're not just asking the artsy people, you're asking everyone. So you would get an unbiased answer. So there's biased and unbiased. All right, so let's look at this example. The school randomly asked all the students what would make the teachers happier while working at school. Explain why this question is a sample of a biased survey. Okay, so it already tells me this is biased. This is unfair. Why is it unfair? Well, it's asking the students what would make the teachers happier. Well, I just think that's unfair. So I'm going to say it asked the wrong group of people. In order to be unbiased, they need to ask, who is this mattering to? They need to ask the teachers. Okay, so always check for that. All right, next vocabulary word is population. So in example 4, what's the last example? Who is the population? Let's back up here, tell you who you ask. So it's just the people that you ask. In the last example, they ask the students. Who should have been the population? The teachers. All right, so let's see how you do on this one. A radio station in New York wants to know the most popular song of the week. The DJ surveys random listeners who call in throughout the week. What is the population of the DJ survey? So we have 4 options here. It's either all the people in New York, the listeners who called the station, listeners of this radio station, or the most popular song of the week. Who are they asking? They're asking all the people in New York, yes, that listen to the radio station, but who are the only people that have given you the answers? The people who call into the station. So that is your population on this one. Okay, types of surveys to conduct. We have 4 different surveys here that we can conduct. The first one is a voluntary response sample. So this one kind of goes with the last one. They had to volunteer, they had to call in. Here's another example. The student council sets up a booth at lunch and has t-shirt options for the 8th grade class to vote on. It's voluntary because not everyone has to go do it. Just whoever wants to vote can vote. Things about voluntary samples that are different. Sometimes you can get biased because only the people that care respond. Okay. And sometimes it is not enough for the whole population. So, if I want to figure out, okay, I have 120 students and only 10 volunteered, that's probably not going to represent what everyone really wants. So those are the problems with the voluntary response ones. Okay, you'll have to watch a new video for the rest of these.